Hello and welcome to the Penno podcast for this match preview for Aston Villa versus Club Brugge in the Champions League. The opportunity to go through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League stage. I'm joined here with my bro to go through all things Aston Villa in regards to this game, have a look at Brugge as well, and potentially look at our possible opposition in the quarterfinal. But bro, how you doing? Before I get into you and let you speak, bro, if you could subscribe. I know there's a number of you that do watch that and not subscribe, so please do subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000. And also comment your thoughts within the chat if you're joining us live or after the show. Bro, how you doing? And are you excited? Only 2 more sleeps and we watch Villa play in a game where we could potentially go through to the Champions League quarterfinals.
Yeah, I think there's less nerves knowing that we're 2 goals off, but even with that, there's still a bit of on edge, isn't it? Like, don't know if you feel the same.
Yeah, of course. It like 2 goal leads. They say 2-0 in general is it's the dangerous scoreline, isn't it? And I don't really believe that too much. But when it's in regards to Villa and keeping the lead, I always have that feeling of if they go 1-0 up early, yeah, things could look very different. But I'm confident, man. I'm confident going into this one. And yeah, I can't wait, man. I can't wait. How are you feeling about it?
I'm just interested to see how we approach the game, the team sheet, who's going to play, who's not. The atmosphere, I think it's going to be really good at the start. And then it will be a lot based on how the game goes, really. It's probably the biggest game that me and you have seen, would you say?
Yeah, I'll put a few cup finals. A few cup finals. But
the cup finals are more important in terms of like the day itself, but I mean in terms of getting to the stage of this competition, like we haven't.
Yeah, it's the unknown, isn't it?
Yeah, we haven't seen this level, I don't think.
Yeah. That's a good question, actually. Is that like, because obviously you've got cup finals, the playoff finals as well, but
yeah, I guess if we lost the playoff final, it would have been more detrimental.
Yeah, facts. Definitely.
If we lose this, it's not like the club's finished, then. Do you know what I mean? Like,
bro, if we lost the second playoff final, we're not be doing this right now. Villa might not exist in it, so it's all mad.
We'd be talking about panorama football, bro, on this podcast.
Yeah, talking about Kidderminster or something. But yeah, going into this one, bro. Interesting from the lineup we played at the weekend and the lineup we played against Bruges in the Champions League as well. I think there weren't too many changes from that. Jacob Ramsey coming in from Rashford from this weekend against Brentford to what we played against Bruges, and obviously Olsen and Martinez. It was the same back four. McGinn and Tielemans playing in the middle, Bailey, Rogers and Watkins all playing as well. So going into this one at home now, do you think it's going to be the same thing? Unchanged really, unless Martinez is fit and available, and potentially Rashford coming back into the side. Everyone else, same names.
Yeah, it depends on it. Like, it depends on like who's available, who's injured. But as you've asked me about Rashford specifically, I think Ramsey might start this game. You know. I think Ramsey might start this game. I thought Ramsey played well at the weekend. Like, I thought he only got 6 points, but got the assist. I thought he was our best attacker in the first half. And yeah, man, I think Ramsey's going to keep his place.
Yeah, he was, and he was instrumental. He got that assist for Watkins, but the run that led to that was top tier. It was top quality down the line, and he put the ball on the plate for Watkins. Watkins had to do a bit still to finish it, but it was great play from Jacob Ramsey, and I love seeing Jacob Ramsey travel the ball. Like, we have midfielders who can travel with the ball at their best at times. Even, like John McGinn can travel with the ball. Morgan Rogers, we know that's what he's all about. But Jacob Ramsey's such an effective player when he's travelling with the ball on transition. And if he makes the correct decisions, which I think still needs to be honed in with Jacob Ramsey, same with Morgan Rogers at times as well. They're just massive players for us. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Ramsey starts. I really wouldn't.
Yeah,
so, bro.
I agree.
Just going into a few of the comments. Engine's joined. Thanks for joining, Engine. Says, yes, boys, glad to see you back. Thanks for joining us, Engine. Engine saying we will be playing Blues in their cup. I don't even think we'd exist, let alone be playing Blues, man. But yeah, definitely would be different times. Deontay, thanks for joining, Deontay. He says afternoon, and it's nice to see Adam's camera working. Yeah, Adam's last few he's been here, and he's here. He's here going forward. Deontay also said, I hope you're both doing well. We are, mate. And I hope you're doing well as well, mate. Kevin says, evening, guys. Bruges game ain't over, but I feel we've got momentum now. Yeah, I agree. I think the momentum's in our favour, and obviously we have a great home record. All things considered, we have a really good home record. So let's just hope that goes into play again. And also, Mr. Green's in here says, "Yeah, thanks for joining, Mr. Green, as well, as always."
I think that's how I feel a little bit. It's like I don't want to be too cocky, but I also don't want to be that guy that's just like doom, just being a doomer and just saying like, oh, you know what Villa are like. I think there's a balance there, and I think if you can't go into Villa Park tomorrow quietly confident we'll get through them, when can the nerves will hit on the day, I think, but I think we are a good team, especially at Villa Park, and I think when we play to how we can play, I think we can qualify on Wednesday easily.
Yeah, definitely, bro. I agree. I agree with that process of thinking. So moving into that then, and obviously, we've played. This will be the third time we played Brugge now. I think 180 minutes is a lot of time to understand how a team plays and how they're set up. What are the dangers you think of Brugge coming to us? I don't know if Joaquin says he's fit and available. I think he was a big miss. He's a decent player for him, and he wasn't available for the last game. I remember him playing in the one before. But apart from that, I think all their players will be available going into this one. So having seen the two games now, who's going to be the dangers?
Yeah, so Brugge won at the weekend in their local derby, 3-1. I think they're going for the league, so their team was not rotated, bro. They went really strong. It was similar to the team that they played against Villa. So I think, as always, their wingers are a threat. Zolis and their other winger as well. I think Thibault, is that how you say his name?
Talbi.
Talib, I think. Yeah. And then obviously Vanakan always, bro, sleepy Lewandowski, bro. The dream behind Lewandowski. He's a baller. He's so good.
He's a good player.
Honestly, like, he might not have the pace, but his touch and that little flick that he did for Solis in the first leg when he blazed it over the bar.
And his box crashing as well. It's a threat.
Yeah,
he arrives late into the box and gets in good
positions. If it went for Ming, he would have scored there. So we got to be careful, man. They got good players still. And their midfield as well. Their midfield's really good. So, yeah, I think they're going to approach the game differently to how they've been doing. I can't see them not pressing us at all throughout the game. Like, how else are they going to score their goals? So, yeah, I think they'll have a slightly different approach. But listen, if they want to press, what happens when they press? They're going to leave gaps. And we've got players like Rogers and Ramsey who can exploit those gaps. So let's see how the game goes, man.
Yeah, so then with Brugge going full strength, that's, again, only a few days for them, which is kind of a surprise, because usually sides like that in leagues that are not in the top 5 usually somehow manage to cancel their games and give them the opportunity to have a full week's rest. But yeah, they went full strength within the league as well. So
the Belgium league said, fuck Brugge.
Yeah, they weren't feeling it. They weren't feeling it this time.
They have a weird system in it where it's like playoffs in their league, I think.
Yeah, they do. They have a number of playoffs, within that. So yeah, I think they quoted that. They were quoted as that in terms of, when they played Atlanta to get through. They said they're like used to that kind of system, playoff system, knockout football. So again, it just shows how much of a test this will be, because they're used to playing in those big knockout games. And for us, no, I was just going to say, bro, for us now, knockout football is where it's at, isn't it? And we've had good experience with it last season, especially in the Conference League, and so far so good in terms of the FA Cup and within this competition as well. So, yeah, man, we just need to manage the game. Early goal would just do us the world of good. Something similar to Celtic, just kill it off, sort of. I know Celtic came back in the game, but with the connotations of this now and us being 3-1 up, a goal or 2 early goals and it just kills the tie, I think.
It's a shame away goals aren't still a thing, because they'd need to score 3, wouldn't they?
Yeah, well, I'll hold off on that. If we do get through, I don't know about away goals, considering the opposition we could be facing, isn't it? I might be.
You brought up at Atalanta, innit? Like, they beat Juventus 4-0 last night, and I watched that game, and they absolutely battered them, bro.
Yeah,
they hooked Juventus like it was a whitewash. So for Club Brugge to go to Atlanta and win 3-1, was it?
Yeah.
Like, bro, on their day, Club Brugge can turn up. So There can't be any complacency. And the thing I love about Villa is Emery. Like, Emery's not going to be complacent anymore. Like, he watched his Paris Saint-Germain side, like a 4-0 first leg win over Barcelona, over Messi's Barcelona. And he saw the 6-1, so he must have thought never again. And hopefully our team hears what he has to say, because we can't be complacent on Wednesday, like not for a single moment.
That's a great point, and it just shows the experience he has in the competition, where he can draw for all the successes he's had in European football. He can draw upon, a time where he was kind of ridiculed for that result going forward, and it did affect his reputation at a point. Albeit, I don't think it was, in the big context, I don't think it was that bad. Barcelona side had some unbelievable players within it, and if any side were going to be able to turn that around, it was them. But yeah, I think that result really did just put a mark on his managerial career, and he has the experience now to manage games. And with Villarreal, after the PSG job, he won the Europa League, took them to the semi-finals of the Champions League as well within that. So he's been here before. He's been in it before, and I have full confidence in his management, because he knows European football inside out. So moving on to us, bro. In what ways do we actually cause Bruges problems within this? Again, the 2 games we faced Bruges now, it's been away from home, so it's a different scenario. We've had to set up differently to accommodate that. I thought the first game we didn't really create much, if anything. The only real chance I remember is that McGinn header where he headed it over the bar. I think that was the only real big chance that we had in the box.
Had that shot, didn't he, outside the box?
He had that shot, and this one as well. I mean, outside the goals, what do you think in terms of chance creation? There wasn't too much within that. So
for both teams, or for Villa?
Just Villa in isolation.
Villa. What did we create? Yeah, I think you're right. Did you have any shots?
I think we did, but nothing like in terms of big chances as such. I think my feeling coming out of the game last week was we've done well to come out of this one 3-1 up. I mean, a draw would have been a fair result in that game. So yeah, how do we, cause them pressure? Because you could say in that 180 minutes, we haven't really, even though we scored 3 goals, we haven't really created that many chances.
It depends, bro. It depends again how Bruges are going to come out and play, because I don't think they're going to allow us the ball and just not press, because they're not in protective mode anymore. They don't have anything to defend. They know they're 2 goals down. They have to be the ones putting on pressure. So I think we do see a slightly different approach from their press. I don't think they're going to be like Klopp's like Giga press, like going mental in it, but I think it will be a lot more, risky than what they've been showing so far. And I think Emery will probably prepare for both types of approach from Bruges, whether they play how they've played before, or whether they do try and look to go on the attack early. How do we like exploit that? Are we going to play like the nastiest low block you've ever seen? Are we just going to play our normal football? Are we going to try and kill the game off early? Like, I don't know. This is what makes the game so interesting. Like, I really don't know how we're going to approach it, because we've seen sometimes where we do go into that low block early against Spurs at home, where it was 0-0 up until half time, and then second half they just went crazy. So
from last season.
From last season, sorry, Spurs at home, from last season. Yeah. But what I just love about Villa is our attackers. Like, we have that quality in Ramsey, Rashford, Asensio, Watkins, Rogers, going for Bailey maybe on his day. Like, he showed up in the last game, maybe he could show up again this game as well. So I think on transition, I want to see like good decision making.
Yeah, I think that. See, this is where, because obviously we play with the box. If we're playing Ramsey and Rogers, we're going to be quite central. Bailey's only really going to be the only outlet. I don't know if this is a game where you line up with another out-and-out wing as like a Marcus Rashford. We saw with Olsen playing into the Emi Martinez, he prefers to kick the ball longer in that. And with the press that Bruges have already, now they're chasing the game as well. Their press might be more intense, and will that mean there'll be more gaps behind and chances to run into space, which would, for a Rashford, that would be a great opportunity for him to get in behind. He has the pace and he's dangerous. So that might come into his thinking as well, or that it might just be, first 45, we just play with control, keep it at 0-0, and then we go for that when we really know the game's on the line and Bruges really have to come out and chase and press and push players forward. But yeah, again, as you said, with the attacking options, we can change how we play and what sort of system and style we can move into. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we do play more centrally in that box. And I think the game against Chelsea was one game where I thought, because Chelsea did press really intensely within that game, and I thought, even though we won in the end, I thought we could have won it sooner because they were leaving so much space in behind. And what Chelsea were doing really well within that game is they were playing long because they had no Nicholas Jackson. They only had Pedro Neto. They were playing to Pedro Neto's strength, which was letting us come forward with the ball, be high. When they turned it over, play long and use the pace in behind. And they were killing us. They got into some really good areas in that first half. And I think this could be something we could look to do if Bruges like really come at us and start to press. Just play long, knock it into their half.
Yeah, facts. Midfield, how do you see us going?
An interesting one again, because obviously McGinn and Tielemans have played a lot of minutes together. Is this another game? We've got an international break coming up as well. And I know those two in question will probably go on international duty, but there won't be there's no games for Villa. So is it one more, or does Boubacar Kamara come in? What level of fitness is Boubacar Kamara at now? Is he ready to go straight back in? Who comes out? It's mad. It's mad. Does McGinn go further forward? Does Bailey come out? If that is the case, there's many options.
Kamara's had 2 near 30-minute cameos where Emery in his press conference spoke about building Kamara up. We have to be intelligent with these guys, same with Powell as well. So I think we've kind of seen like Kamara progressively build up his minutes, and I think it's in anticipation for this start against Brugge. I think Emery will want to play his best midfield pairing, and in my opinion, that is Kamara and Tielemans. The McGinn point's interesting. Will McGinn go on the right, or will he just prefer to use his out-and-out winger that we know Emery likes a player that hogs the touchline, keeps the width on the right-hand side, because more likely than not, Disasi is going to be tucked in, really, if we're being real on Dean going forward with the back three of Mings, Konza and Disasi. So it's going to be interesting. I think I'd rather an out-and-out winger. I don't know. But then you drop McGinn out the side. Me personally, I don't think that's such like the worst thing ever, but I know a lot of people will say McGinn has to start. So we got options, bro. Mings keeps his place. Do you think?
Yeah, I think
no matter if Powell's ready, because I thought Mings' performance against Brentford probably one of his best.
Yeah, same.
Like normally Mings.
I think both his performance against Brentford this season has been his best games, home and away.
Yeah. But even in that first game, like he let Igor Thiago get in behind and get the one-on-one.
Yeah.
This game the other day, when I watched it back, like it's probably he just did it. He was pretty solid throughout the 90 minutes. So maybe he might keep his place. Maybe Emery might want Powell for the progression. I don't know, but we're in a good position.
So many options, bro. When players are available. I mean, Emery might go to the 5 again. He might play Cash. I don't know. Like this, who knows if he'll do that? He could even switch. He could start Cash. I know Disasi's had a monster game, but he could do that. He could play Rashford on the left and switch it, and then play McGinn on the right. Attack from a different side. You have that winger on the left-hand side. So, and then Cash providing the width off the right. But yeah, there's so many options, man.
We don't know Asensio's fitness either. Like
no,
we don't know how he's doing after his 12 rounder with John McGinn. Like is that what we're doing?
That's what everyone's been saying. Yeah,
but if Asensio is ready, does he just start straight away? Like we don't know. Boys,
I do think it will be similar to what we saw on the weekend. If Martinez is fit, he comes in, and then I think Jacob Ramsey for Rashford. I think you're spot on with that. I think the rest stays the same, just for continuity. And we haven't really played the same back four much this season, so I think the back four is just going to stay the same. But there are so many options. It wouldn't surprise me if Emery has a game plan and changes it and makes 1 or 2 tweaks. Just a few comments in here. Deontay says, to be honest, I think this tie is 70%, 30% in Villa's favour. The first leg winning Bruges was vital, and it makes the task much harder for Club Brugge on Wednesday at Villa Park. Yeah, it really does. Indeed, Deontay. Kevin says, if we'd have won 3-1 at home, I'd be more worried going to Bruges. The fact it's at Villa Park is a huge difference. Fact. And as we stated, man, our record at Villa Park is pretty good. So, yeah, for sure. Deontay also says, if Villa are fans, would you rather face Liverpool or PSG in the quarterfinals? Now, I think we differ on this one, innit?
Yeah.
You'd rather play PSG, but I'd rather play Liverpool.
And it's close, and it's like a 59% 41. Like it's close, and but I just think, yeah, the illogicalness of my thinking is football heritage. Like,
Yeah,
what does every player talk about?
Anfield away, Champions League.
Every player, whether you're Spanish, Italian, bro. Someone mentioned Anfield the other day. I think it was Dybala. Was just like, apart from Anfield, yeah, like the Stadio Olimpico, like it's the best stadium, like for atmosphere and that. All these players talk about atmosphere. So I think from a football heritage perspective, I'd take PSG, because what have PSG shown to do in the past?
Bottle it every time. Yeah, bottle it every time.
Obviously, we've got to do our job. Like, this is just the next round thing. But I think they're both elite sides. They're both elite sides. I just think for the heritage aspect, I'd rather.
Yeah, PSG played Liverpool off the park, and how they lost that game, I don't know. And it's kind of like in the typical nature of PSG in the Champions League, wasn't it, that they ended up losing that game. But just Liverpool, I just think the two times we played them this season, the Anfield game, I thought we were well within that game. We got caught on 2 transitions from our own corners. I think we had good chances in that game. We didn't take them. We really, acquitted ourselves really well in that away game. And then we all know what happened in the home game. Either team could have won it. You could say Liverpool had the better share of the chances, but last 20 minutes, there was only one team that looked like they was going to win that game. So we know them. We know they play. Arne Slot doesn't like the fireworks. You can rattle him a bit. So yeah, I think it's familiarity with me.
That's the kind of we've been mocking Arne Slot for his comments and that. Like, what, he's going to come on, run on the pitch at the full time and just start pointing to the fireworks and that when they're gone through. Like, that's like, he's going to get the last lap.
Maybe
that's just my weird backwards way.
You know what? You'd really hope if.
I just want us to get through, but fam, I can't lie. But
you'd hope whichever team we face are still having to compete for the league, for the title. You don't want the title wrapped up when you have to play them, man.
I think both sides have got the titles wrapped up.
I know that's the problem. I know.
But as you said, like, I agree with you in the Liverpool game at Anfield. The way Onana and Tielemans were pressing their midfield, like we had the better midfield that game. And what did we talk about? Our transitions, where Ramsey was our best player in that first half, causing them issues on transitions. But the decision making was off, man.
It was off.
And I just feel like sometimes with Villa, for a team that relies on counter attack, sometimes, like if it's sharper, like we could have so much more joy. And you think second half starts, who has that one-on-one chance? Rogers to bury that brings the game back to 1-1 straight away. So I hear what you're saying about Liverpool, but on the flip side, we haven't played like PSG to know how we do against PSG.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's like a catch-22, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what? Just get through and see what happens, isn't it? It's one of those ones.
There's some Bruges fans listening, like
we're not getting ahead of ourselves. We just ask the question, and we're not getting ahead of ourselves at all, man. We're Villa fans. We've seen madder things happen. Mr. Green says Tielemans this season or Luiz last season. We've had this discussion offline, bro, and I think you tip it to Tielemans just because the consistency throughout the season. So I don't think there's been many poor performances. I think with Douglas Luiz, how good he was from the start of the season to December was unbelievable. The level he was playing at was an absolute joke. But we have to be honest, he did tail off the second half of the last season. Whether that was, between he wasn't happy with certain things or whatever, him and Emery's relationship, but he did tail off. And he wasn't as good as he was the first half of the season. But at this moment in time, Yuri Tielemans has just been consistent throughout the season. So I think it's Tielemans, but it's not. It's a close one.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying about consistency. You have to give it Tielemans. And for peak, I'd say they're similar. I'd say from what Douglas from August 2023 to what we're saying February 2024 when that tail off started. Because there is a little bit of revisionism on Douglas. Like, people say like he was crap after December, but his 3 best games came after the Kamara injury against Luton, Forest, and I think he was another team. And then the tail off started with the Europa League, the Conference game. So, yeah, I think peak-wise, I don't know if I'm ready to just... I'd have to go back and like watch some of them.
Watch the tapes.
But
yeah.
I think consistency now, Tielemans, like, this is a joy. I thought he was excellent against Brentford the other day, bro.
Yeah,
like, some of the passes that he played. If Ming scores that, that's another assist for the season. He played that one pass in the second half, like, first time over the top for Ramsey. And if Ramsey plays in Rogers, he's through one-on-one. Like, bro, the levels is a joke. He's a joke what he's setting. And, yeah, I think you have to give it Tielemans now.
Free transfer again, bro. That absolute madness. Kevin says, can't see Asensio starting unless we're in a bit of trouble. Yeah, I agree. I think if he has been carrying the knock, he didn't start against Cardiff. He came on and he didn't start against Palace either. So yeah, I can't see him starting if that's been continued. Kevin also says Villa Park would make Anfield sound like a church. Trust me, you'll never walk alone at the start. Then now Villa Park would be constant noise second leg. I tend to agree with that because it's been a while since we've been here, so I think our atmosphere would be better. But
yeah, I agree.
It's still Anfield does carry weight in
this competition. Let's just say we played Liverpool, if that first game, because obviously Villa a second leg at home, aren't we? That's already been decided. So if that first leg at Anfield came back like a 1-1, then you'd be like quietly like
just
If Liverpool
and set off all the fireworks, have bonfire night on that night, you know what I mean?
You know them like will try and like kill that game off in the first leg. That's what they'd be trying to do. So
100%, they'd be all out to try and kill it off. 100%. Oh, yeah. And moving on to that, and we're talking about Liverpool and PSG. Let's get back to this because Wim's joined the chat. Thanks for joining, Wim. He says hello. I'm a Belgian Club Brugge fan. Yesterday, Derby win, as you said, and thank you for joining and watching. And Wim, let us know your thoughts going into this one of how you're feeling. Being 3-1 down against us, and what are you expecting from your side? Are you expecting to go straight out the blocks and come at us and really press us and try and put us under pressure, or do you think you'll play a bit of a longer game and then maybe attack in certain situations when we're high up the pitch or high in your half and let us play onto you? Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see your viewpoint of this match. Mr. Green says Duran just scored. Hurts me every time. We just have to move on, man. We just have to move on. Wim also says, sell Brugge 1, Club Brugge 3. But being a derby as well, that would have been intense, bro, going into that. So they might have exerted a bit more of their energy into that game as well. And Mr. Green also said,
let's touch that.
I'm clutching. I'm taking every little thing, just bringing it in, man. Mr. Green also said, both are great, but imagine if they'd played together. They did in it. I think our best football last season was when all three were on the pitch, when Luiz, Kamara and Tielemans were all on the pitch. That City game was probably the best football we played all season, and all three were on the pitch that game as well. So, yeah, man.
Did McGinn start that game?
Yeah, I think McGinn started as well. I think Tielemans played in the 10, innit?
So what, McGinn was on the left?
I think McGinn was on the left, Bailey on the right for that game.
Tielemans. As a striker. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. I think we played like a 5, the 4 centre mids and then Bailey as well. And then Tielemans was
what was confusing me? What was confusing me then was we hadn't signed Rogers yet. I was like, where's Rogers? And I was like, we ain't signed him.
He weren't there. Yeah, he weren't there then. And I think Ramsey was injured at the time, wasn't it? So.
Yeah, Diaby was benched as well. Diaby didn't start.
Yeah. And that was the best football we played because it was just all ball players through the middle. And the box that game was mad. Kevin also says Liverpool crowd would expect a hammering off Villa. That's why I say their noise wouldn't be constant. It's a great stadium, but Villa second leg, unbelievable. Facts, Kevin, you're not wrong. I totally agree. I think we would definitely be carrying some noise, and the buying game especially, that just holds some place in my heart still because the atmosphere was just incredible, and it's going to be a madness on Wednesday, and hopefully we do get through. It'll be a madness going into the next round as well. So, yeah, bro. Anything else you want to add?
Martinez, do you think he's going to be ready?
I hope. I don't know. It's hope, innit? I'd assume that he'd rest him with the intention of him being ready for midweek. And if he's not, I better not see him in that Argentina squad.
Yeah. You know what's gonna kill when he's like chilling with McAllister and he's putting up like that sign? And
Yeah.
Just, like,
No, it's that one where he's sitting on the ball with the goalkeeper gloves on in the net. It's just like, bro.
Or he's
Come on.
he's drinking that mad drink that they all drink. So
Yeah. And I was gonna say something else. I was gonna say. I totally forgot what I was gonna say, bro. Oh yeah, I was gonna say that top you got on. What's that? Where's that little number?
this top.
Yeah.
So this is the 2010 goalkeeper kit with no sponsor. Just mad one. Just buy something that no one would think to buy just because it's Nike. So
it's a nice top, man. It's a nice top. Nike, in it. Some good memories. But do you think we've surpassed the Nike era memories now with Adidas so far? Just this season.
Yeah, I think even like the nostalgia of that Ashley Young, Gabby Young, the whole team. What was the selling point, or what was the nostalgia based on? What if? You know, that screenshot of the table, we're fourth.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how did we not get Champions League? That's what the nostalgia was based on. And I think now that we've overcome that and got Champions League, it kind of just diminished a bit, if that makes sense. So we got to the next stage. We're hopefully getting to the quarterfinals. I think, this will just surpass that. No.
We need to have Unai in the cup final, man. That's the thing now. You know, O'Neill tried, failed. Cheryl tried, failed. Just need to get Emery cup final settings, man.
I'm gonna give you a question. I think I asked you this in real life, and so this is a mad random question. Guaranteed FA Cup win, knocked out of the Champions League, or knocked out of the FA Cup, guaranteed Champions League final. You don't know the opponent and you don't know the result, and you go into the game.
I think I said the FA Cup, innit? I said the FA Cup.
Fair enough. Bro, I'm FA Cup as well, because we haven't won anything. But I just thought some people might chance it and just like, you know what, Champions League final. Let's just see what happens.
Bro, I want to see armpits, man. I need to see players lifting silverware. If just with my eyes, like
FA
I
Cup
need
as
to
well,
see
like,
that.
I'll just be,
And a lot of generations older than us who are Villa fans, that, especially who are around and saw the European Cup. That's the last trophy that they haven't seen Villa win. So I do think a lot of those would.
What is it, 1957?
57, bro. That's just like, that is, coming up to what, 2 years' time, 70 years. That's just insane. So for me, FA Cup, because it's just a guarantee in that scenario, but obviously.
It's just a mad question anyway. It don't mean anything.
Win
both. Let's win both.
Engines going Champions League, so can give Arsenal some shit, or we can do that anyway, man. Because they haven't touched that. I can't really say they're not touching it this season, but I do think if they go through, I don't see them getting any further. Kevin saying no, FA Cup and Champions League final, please. Yeah, going for both. It's more than possible. It's more than possible. It's going to be a challenge, obviously. And do you think if we get through, hypothetically, we get through Bruges, we get through Preston, does Unai really start then putting his eggs in competitions? You know how he's been labelled as that sometimes in previous clubs, that he kind of sacks off the league at that point, and then it's just for narrow-minded cup competitions. Let's win the trophy. Do you think we'll see that in the league? Because again, the games coming up and the fixtures we have coming up in the league are against people around us. It's literally, if we win the next few games coming up in the league, we're going to find ourselves in those Champions League spaces, because we're naturally playing against teams that are around us in Bournemouth, Newcastle, Brighton, Forest, Man City as well.
I think my first point to that will be no, because of the 7 points we got from the last 4 games. I think you beat Chelsea, you beat Brentford, you get a draw against Liverpool. It's kind of changed the perspective in the league a little bit. I don't think our league performances have been worthy of Champions League, but in the end, results are what matter. And if we're there after the Brighton game, depending on that result. Second thing as well, I noticed one time Unai said in an interview, he's just like, sometimes it's better for your players to always play. He said sometimes it's not good for them to get a rest in between like big games. Sometimes it's better to keep the rhythm. So I think that might play a part as well, bro.
Yeah, definitely. If that's within his thinking, and synonymous with sticking with what works in those times. Albeit we have more opportunity to be flexible now with what the depth of the squad we have and what we've acquired.
And think about it as well. Say if we do hopefully beat Preston, the level of competition and like maybe the standards even raising like subconsciously to try and start at Wembley.
Yeah,
it's gonna just make us better as well. So
the funny thing is, the teams that we've probably got the remaining fixtures against are probably the teams we could Bournemouth or City, Forest, Fulham, and Forest, Fulham, and Bournemouth, City, and Brighton as well. And that's just how we've got them 5 in the league as well coming up. So if we do get one of them, we'll probably play them twice in a short amount of time. If we do get past Preston, obviously. But yeah, exciting, bro. It's exciting. Just get through this one Wednesday, and you have 2 weeks then to just take it all in and then go from there, innit?
Yeah, like come on, Champions League round of 16, second leg at Villa Park. This is what we used to try and manifest and talk about all the time. I imagine Villa in the Champions League, and we did the hard part. We've made out the knockouts. Do you know what I mean? Like through the top 8 as well, and we've had our rest. We've won the first leg. Like, come on, Villa. I think Villa Park's going to be great atmosphere-wise, and then for the first 10 minutes, and then I think we'll start to react to the game, see how that's going. But yeah, I'm excited, bro. I'm looking forward to the game.
Yeah, sick one, bro. I think we're going to call it there on that one. Thank you all for joining in the chat or just watching. Really appreciate it. As always, please, if you could get the likes up, and also if you could subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, we really appreciate it. Bro, as ever, man, thanks for joining, man. And we'll have a match reaction after the game, potentially on the
hopefully
evening.
A positive one. Hopefully a positive
potentially
one.
On the evening. Will probably be on the Thursday. We'll see. But yeah,
hopefully
thank you guys for
showing all our teeth. Like,
my face is like this. I'm like this, and probably jumping out of the seat as well. But yeah. Anyway, thank you all for joining, and see you on the next one up the Villa.